Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're going to talk about something we all use every single day, words. Specifically, the words we have for things we can easily see, and the words we search for when it comes to the things we can't. So, just for a second, think about it. What words pop into your head when you describe your day? Are they simple, clear, easy for pretty much anyone to get? Well, for some things, the answer is a big yes. Let's start with something easy, the language of appearance. We've got a whole specific vocabulary just for the world we see with our own eyes. Let's take our clothes, for example. We have a word like striped. It's so simple, right? It just means lines of color, and everybody knows what you're talking about. We even have these little unwritten rules for it, like vertical stripes might make you look a bit taller. It's like a shared visual language we all speak. And it's the same thing with checkered. You see a pattern of squares, you call it checkered, and boom, everyone gets the picture instantly. It's just a clear, direct label for something we can all point to. Now, here's where it gets kind of interesting. We don't just use these words to describe things, we use them to judge. You see a striped shirt with a checkered sweater? Yeah, most of us would look at that and just go, whoa, that's too busy. We have this shared understanding of what works and what, well, doesn't. And this is where you get those classic, almost funny moments of frustration when someone just doesn't get the rules. You can practically hear the sigh, "Are you joking? What am I going to do with you?" It's a problem, sure, but it's a visible one. You can fix it. The whole point is, we have this massive, really rich vocabulary just for our clothes. We can talk about silk, corduroys, sandals, short-sleeve shirts, all things we can point to and agree on. And hey, when you master this language, you get praised for it. Someone says, "You have such great fashion sense." What they're really saying is you get the rules of the visible world. It's a skill.
But some things are so much harder to describe.
I mean, how do you even begin to explain a pain that no one else can see? What words are there for that? And that brings us to this whole other side of things, an unseen struggle. This is where those simple, easy words we have, they're just not enough. Just imagine trying to get this across to someone. The pain was sharp, like a knife pressing. It is always there. You have to start using metaphors, comparisons, anything to try and make this invisible thing feel real to somebody else. It's a constant, exhausting battle. And what's the typical response? Well, often it's to slap a simple label on something that's incredibly complex. The diagnosis? Just stress? And the solution sounds just as straightforward. A checklist of things to do. Take these pills, do some yoga, meditate. A concrete plan for a problem you can't even see. And this whole focus on fixing it, it leads to a brand new vocabulary. Not a language of feelings, but a language of medicine. And it's all symbolized by this, a simple box of pills. For one person going through this, that box became a huge part of their life.
The box of pills grew each week. I stared at it for a long time.
Every single bottle is like another word, another attempt to define and get control over the unseen. And you can see how it just escalates. It's not just one thing anymore. It becomes a whole mountain of medicine. Pills for nerves, pills for stress, pills for sleep, pills for the headache that started it all. A whole pharmacy aimed at an invisible target. It gets to the point where the reliance is so deep, it's almost personified. The box was now part of my family. It sat on the table like another person. That's such a powerful and kind of haunting image of how something meant to help can start to take over. So this all leads us to the real impact of communication. How the words from people around us can either make things so much worse or maybe, just maybe, start to heal. Because when that communication breaks down, the pain just gets deeper. A husband asks, "Where's my wife? Where's the woman I knew?" And his words, they're coming from his own pain and confusion, but they land like an accusation. And from a child, wow. The question is even more direct, and it's just heartbreaking. "Mama, when will you smile again?" It's not meant to hurt, of course, but it just shows the visible effect of a completely invisible struggle. So, where do you go from there? How do you find your way back? Well, it seems to start with finding a totally new language, taking these small steps toward finally feeling seen. And look, this new language isn't some magic word. It's built on these small, consistent actions, things like talk therapy to finally put names to the feelings, keeping a diary to give all that fear a physical place to live outside your own head. The simple, amazing kindness of a friend just saying one day at a time, or the incredible support from a partner who says, we will try together. But here's the thing, healing is messy. It's not a straight line, right? The story doesn't just wrap up with a perfect cure. The reality is often exactly this. I had small wins, but I was not healed. The pills were still on the table. The new language helps, for sure, but that old one, the box of pills, it doesn't just vanish.
And that really leaves us with this one big question. We have an endless dictionary for the visible world, for striped shirts and checkered sweaters. But for all the invisible struggles going on inside of us and inside the people we love, what words do we really need to truly finally see each other?